Forward with our keynote lecture, and our lecturer today is Erdenchimeg Luvsannorov. I'm happy to introduce her. I've known Erdenchimeg for a long time. We lived together in good old Bloomington, Indiana, with Peter Marsh back in the day, and Erdenchimeg has a daughter same age as mine. They were classmates together long ago and far away. So Erdenchimeg is from Ulaanbaatar, the country from Mongolia. She has a number of degrees, really a handful of degrees. She earned a bachelor's degree in music from the musical college in Ulaanbaatar, a bachelor's and master's degree from the Tchaikovsky Conservatory in Moscow, and that's a nice place, and doctoral degrees from the Mongolian National University of Art and the Mongolian Academy of Sciences in 2000. She's well-versed in music theory and the history, so the written sources, the written history, the history of Mongolian music, and to go with that, she also has an excellent knowledge of local traditions and ethnic traditions. So let's welcome her. Her talk will be Music and Nature Connections with Mongolian Tradition. Erdenchimeg.
Everybody, so I am very honored to be here in Berkeley University. So I'm very happy and very thankful people working together, especially thank Peter and Caverly also organizing this conference. Thank you. Today's my topic was the music and nature connections, how they connected, firstly. So the Hamilton said, the miracle of the world is human, the miracle of the human is the mind. That is the short introduction I have. So Mongols believe that the music has evolved from nature and the humans have acquired it thanks to the creativity. Those humans and music are increasingly linked with one another. Therefore, the power of human emotions lies with natural sounds or music. In this sense, sounds are the expressions of coexistence of the nature and the living creatures. So I would like to introduce how the European music, the sound is, firstly, the sound is studied by linguists as a power of movement in physics, as a numerical value of mathematics, as an artistic and aesthetic value by musicology. So the sound is studied, many of scientists, Ancient Greek scholars and scientists, Pythagoras, Plato, and his follower Philaly, in the 3rd century before Christ, put forward a theory of that the intervals between 7 scales, diatonic scales, equal to the distance between the 7 brightest stars in the space, known as Pleiades. Therefore, Western music theory is based on a Gregorian calendar, 100 years, correlate with 100 tones and 7 stars, correlate with 7 diatonic music scales. So, ancient time, they founded nowadays we calling do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, ti, or C, D, E, F, G, A, H. Sometimes they say B. But they name it firstly this ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. So ancient theory is based on the lunar calendar, 60 years correlate with the 60 tones as a result of the 5 elements. Correlate with 5 pentatonic scale. They name it firstly in Chinese resource. They said Gong Shang Cui Qi. After that, this Liu, who is the Guangzi, named Guangzi, before Christ, 3rd century, they named it they founded the 5 musical scales. All over the Asian people now singing an Asian music based on the only 5 tones. So after that, after Chinese, this Gongshang Cueqiyu, they adopted Korean and then Japan. So also this time, firstly, I found that these 5 tones, Mongolian language written in 13th century resources, primary resources, the 13th century Kublai Khan's King's Palace, we've written like 210 volumes until now in the Mongolian library. The central library, you can see over there that those 210 volumes from the 67 until 71, the 5 volumes dedicated to music theory. So they said the Gongshang Cueqiu is Gongdong, Sangdong, Shangdong, Jidong, Yudong. This is the old name of the 5 pentatonic scale. So this very interesting, this Asian pentatonic scale with 60 tones was published by Janja Hotek Ralbiderch, who first introduced and named his literary work in Mongolian language, Merget Garhing Orm. In this book, also in the 17th century, published by in old Mongolian transcription. And these 2 theories are different, but they are unified in some musical instruments, namely piano. You know the forte piano, in which 7 white keys and 5 black keys make up 1 octave, totally 12 microchromatic tones. So to make full sound, all previous studies conducted on artistic diversities are separate from our living nature, but these ideas represents a classic example of connections between music and our nature. So on this picture I read, because I couldn't in the computer find in the 7 stars. The 7 stars they found, like Pythagoras and Platos, they find the 7 brightest stars and distance between the 2 stars distance equal to the 7 tones. They found it before Christ, 3rd before Christ. But these 7 tones, firstly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of them found it. But the 5, 6, 7 is the divided by 2, 4, and divided by 3, 4, something like that, you know. But this kind of the order. So Pythagoras, also Pythagoras' theory was why people had 10 fingers, because they have 4. What is this? 4 lengths. So that's why the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is the equal 10. So nowadays, the European musical theory based on the 4 means like 4 seasons. 4 seasons is the biological natural elements. So Asian music theory based on the 1 and 3. After that, they 5. Why? Because Mongolians in ancient times, they said, what is the 3 means? Tolging Gorwan Cholo. What is the stone of the Mongolian the fire, right? They have a 3 point. Why? Because one is the Ungursung Oda Iriditsek. What this means, Ungursung Oda Iriditsek. In father, mother, son, and everything supposed to be 3. And then in 5, what is the 5? From where? Because the peoples in Sajabandi the Gonga Jalsan's one very important resource found in Mongolia, but in Tibetan language, they say the people's heartbeat, 1 and 2nd between the rhythm is 5 un. They name it the Mongolian name, Un. 5 Un is between the heartbeat rhythm. So we can find what is the 3 and what is the 9. So in during the Genghis Khan's time, the 13th century, the Tangots king really wants to save their people and country. And when Genghis Khan came, he heard and he prepared the presents. So 9 by 9, 81 horses. 9 by 9, 81 golden images and golden everything, silver and everything. And 9 by 9, 81 boys and girls. He wants to present to Genghis Khan. So these sources written in 13th century, like this history, Yuan Dynasty, secret history. You can find the 277 pages on the history. So why Mongolian people using the yurt? The one yurt, for example, the Durung Hantegir or Tawang Hantegir, or one Han Hyule wall. In one wall, including how many Onigyoku? Oni. On falls. This was supposed to be 15. So one wall supposed to be 15 the walls, but under the door supposed to be 4. So total 64. That 64 is the musical theory. You can find also 13th century primary resource, that theory of music. That time, 13th century, the 5 of the musical tones, they written by just in mathematical, numerical things, 64, 72, 81, 96, and 108. So why I am talking about this? Because Asian people until now singing in musical sound only based on the 5 notes. The European, 7 notes. In Asian people, never using 7. In European people, never using 5. But it's different. But equally, they unified on the piano. 7 white and 5 black tones. So why people 12? From where these 12 musical scales came from? The 20th century composer Schoenberg and Webern, they used the new idea like dodecaphony, 12 scales, microtones. They said from Asia. They brought idea from Asia. The 12 means Mongolians, they very interesting custom, because when a child born, after 12 years changing, the 13th they have new teeth coming. So after 12 years, again new teeth coming up. So that is the wisdom teeth, right? So we calling it wisdom teeth. Why? Because after 12 and after 12, total 60 years, it's the one circle. They already know how they know the 3rd century. So it's very interesting. So that's why the theory of music from the nature, the musical theory from the nature. The sound is, yes, I already talked this one. So why brightest the 7 star over there? The latest information you can see why our Milky Way Earth far away distance 108. Moon and sun the same distances. But why people knows before Christ, the 3rd century, Mongolian scholars, there was, lots of information they studied maybe. That's why they knows this. So you can search what is the 108, what is the moon and earth and sun and distances. You can see lots of things. The harmonic radius, this harmonic radius is hidden in the famous Pythagorean tetrahord or pyramid of dots. The tetra means four. Four is made up of the first four numbers. So I already talked about this one. These new methods and holistic approaches are being developed in contemporary studies and research works, such as studies on the music of different cultures, ethnomusicology, and study on music with human development, anthromusicology. This is the new studies. Before was musicologists just research musical tones, musical notes, musical structure, and behind, the human. Human in geography and our nature is very, very important. They always unify. So, this one. Now, starting connection to Mongolian tradition. Since ancient times, the Mongols have observed their nature and the universe and categorized them into two domains: intangible, visible, and intangible. Visible and intangible, invisible. They believe that all subjects of nature have their own deities and reflected them into their music. For this reason, one can say that the efforts and desires of ancient humans to distinguish and understand those intangible forces resulted in true connections and interrelations between humans and their nature. This symbolizes that esoteric thinking of subconscious mind was expressed through ancient cultures and music. Different ethnic groups of Mongolia have own oral traditions and performing arts, such as myths, legends, tales, odes, benedictions, traditional songs, lots of things you can see over there. And it is still of high interest to modern time researchers and scholars that the melodies of performing art expressions originated and developed in and around Mongolian Altai Mountains. In particular, these include toil, epic, ballad, tor, traditional windpipe instrument. These instruments only have 3 holes. Why can do all songs and musical scales through 3 holes? It's very interesting. But plus double sounds. One is komi, one is the musical sound. Always the double, it's harmonic. In the homi also, through singing or learning crooning, depicting the sounds blowing wind, streams of water, and other natural sounds. Performed by chanting incantations, mantras, and gestures of mouth, nose, lips, teeth, palate, larynx, and chest cavity. So we can see the first video about why people from Altai Mountain, firstly they founded this musical instrument. When Peter and Ted Levin, we went to Altai Mountain, it was very interesting. We especially went over the top, tried to top over there, but it was, the top of the mountain was very straight rocky. That straight rock, when the wind blowing, the sounds something, something very interesting sound. It was. So that's why people really want to the natural reflecting sounds. They want to try to, but always in Mongolian ballad and epic and worship, they trying to 13 stone mounds they worshipping like this. Why? I will say. So these 13, why they just choose 13? Because they have 13 big high top of the mountain in Altai mountain. That's why people want to. So you will see that the first one is Digra. Digra means protecting from the enemy's stone mounds they worshiping. The second one is preventing from thieves. The third one is protecting from wind or something like that. This is the very interesting. That third, you can see they always in ballads in Thor 13 melodies. Always they, 13. Why not 15? So. And this map, you can see the Altai mountain. It's the from top of this one through the soft one. But I would say in Mongolian language, they have 5 different kind of categorized dialect. So one top of that one is a Kazakh dialect. Another one is Oirat dialect. Oirat dialect consists of 11. For example, Bayat, Durud, Zakchang, Urecha, Tarud, Uld, Miangat, what those. The central one is Central Halkha dialect. The east one was Zoom dialect. There is Barga, Dairiganga, Udzimching, Buryat. So Buryat dialect inside have 11 small dialects. So Inner Mongolian also, but the fifth one is Inner Mongolian dialect. Inner Mongolian dialect, where they live, from the top of the top of this side, like Kazakh, then hopped in offside the border of Xinjiang, Uyghur, Oirat, Turgut, Inner Mongolia. This side, Alasha also like Khalkha Mongol dialect they have. Also this side, Baraga, Duruvut, this side, Tsakhara. So in Inner Mongolians, Bayern, Duruvut, Tsakhara Horchin, in Alasha, Kukhno, 6 of them. 6 divided by into 6 categories. So that's why the new methods and the holistic approaches are being developed in contemporary studies and research work, such as studies on music. So people wanted to portray the morphology of the mountains, canoes, bluffs, rivers, deserts in a piece, not to capture any feeling of grandeur or immensity, but rather to suggest a strange mix of danger, peace, loneliness, inconvenience, protection, and folks that Altai Mountains had amplified in them. So, for instance, archaeological findings of petroglyph images from Mongolian countryside known as Golmot depict the sun and the moon. In 13th and 19th centuries, the spells and the incantations expressed in songs, music, myths, legends, tales, epos, believed to be reflections of ancient people's thinking and mood. Since the start of 20th century, through the research scholars have started to realize that the beliefs of ancient humans' subconscious mind help to uncover hidden intellectually and the secrets of the ancient wisdom. This is the esoteric mind. Particularly, the ability of our ancestors to sense these invisible signs and symbols is demonstrated through archaeological findings, such as stone monuments, petroglyphs with images of sun and moon. You can see all of those you can find through the Google. Also, the same image with the sun and moon is used by Mongols in their animal pitch brands. You can see this sun and the moon objects on the like seal on the thigh horses. So Mongols also observed since ancient times that energy is divided from two different sources, from nature and from biology. For example, natural energy is divided from mountains, waters, derived mountains, waters, and lands, while biological energy is derived from within the psychological bodies of humans and animals. Accordingly, the biological energy is divided into three categories, including body energy, and language, and energy of mind. Ancient Mongolian legends and myths demonstrate that ancient nomads made efforts to understand that human body energy is directly connected to the energy of Earth, universe, sun, and moon. So we can see the second melody from the Y. Yeah. This is the Marze. Why people just when the melody starts, horse's ears like this, like all like very high and like this, you know, and sometimes nose with like this, breathing very fast, and you know, you can see like it's very exciting, like these kind of things you can see the before the racing, horse racing. That's why they preparing the emotions, the horses. So that's why they name it Marza. So Mongolian ritual, mythical worship, melody, marza, eulogy songs, and music, including the literature, were linked to the subconscious traces, esoteric of the beliefs of the ancient humans and their intention to participate in that sense of the calling signs. These thinking ways of the ancient humans to recognize the significance of the nature's sense of the things, such as the natures and the multitude of the versions are now attracting the interests of many researchers. Especially our ancestors were deeply feeling these natures, which can be seen from the deer statues, petroglyphs, and archaeological artifacts and depicting the sun and the moon found in Mongolia. The golden sun and moon images, icons found from the artifacts of the Tagelring Kotor all over the Kovta in Hairungsum, Arhanga province, you can see or you can find. Mongolian heritage presents the sun and moon images of their horses. Also, eulogy is a typical example of the epic tradition in Western Mongolia. It is a prayer to Altai, Hangai, and Hinti mountains, also prayer to the ancestors. So, now, for example, Altangawa of Dargang Dotno, an example in addition there are 13 big mountain ranges in the Dargang region, where their lowest altitude is 1,250 meters above sea level, and the tallest altitude, which is Shilimbot mountain, has the altitude of the 1,778 meters above the sea level. This region has 222 extinct volcanoes which were erupting 10 to 15 million years ago. So that's why all of this energy coming through those mountains. It is due to these facts that strong, majestic, and enthusiastic folk songs are born among people who live around this highly energetic land area. For example, folk song Dargang locality are quite bright, amusing, and with chord major form, whereas they are long and melodious among other ethnic groups. The particularities of Dargang locality have influenced to Mongolian folk song expressed mainly nature. You can see also this. Yeah, it's now. Okay. Because I I don't want to use all of these songs, but just shortly, I really want to do this one. So it's not good quality because they don't wanna, photograph or any other use, tapes. Because why? I just want to show why they only one teacher teaches 998 people one time. Look at this. Yeah. Collected students, and everybody, every family made them the horse-headed fiddle. And he said, I just used Genghis Khan's theory of rule. What kind of theory? And he said, first I choose very talented 25 students, and then very well studied, and then send them through the 25 units. Everybody is supposed to be like Genghis Khan has like 1,000, then 100, and then 10. So this kind of theory he used. That's why, okay? Thank you. It is believed that 4 different types of land gases spread when Earth breathes, while 17 different land gases spread, especially on the December 22nd, which affects the human body. There is also a saying among Mongolians, but both singer and song are both born with the peculiarities of that specific land. Those Mongolians and examine folk song by their particularities and characteristics of the land, weather, ethnicity, language, traditional melodies, and oral tradition, for example. So, Altınova, I am talking about Daragang. Altınova is, in Sukubatraimek. Mountain, indeed, geographically, lake is located at the height of 1,000, this latitude of this one and longitude of this. So it's very interesting. They have so many energy from the earth, from the sun, from the moon. Even though in Sunnu area, ancestors Mongolian ruler, 3rd century, he every morning worshipped to sun, every evening worshipped to the moon. So you can see nowadays in wedding ceremony, Mongolians also this tradition. So men supposed to be on the sun worship, the ladies supposed to be on the moon. So this one also included connected to the Mongolian gear, tone, and sunlights. So that's why we found the Marinhur. Marinhur is the horse-headed fiddle. Okay, horse-headed fiddle. People thinking about horse-headed fiddle just 2 strings. It's not. Horse-headed fiddle consists of 360 strings, horse tails, natural. So one string consists of 150. The second one consists of 120, and the bowl 90. Total 360. So that's why Phi and F and G we found in physically, mathematically in studies in Moscow. I found F and G, between F and G and 24 microtones. So we have to compose the 12 sharps and 12. I'm sorry. Okay, minute is already. So I would say the last one is the just Narsus composition. It was very interesting. You can see this is the 108 choral, name it. That's very new techniques, images, and message to the world. So they said 108 choral symbolizes the distance from the sun and earth. You can listen from this. So conclusion. This presentation attempted to highlight the essence of the relationship between music, humans, and surrounding nature as a whole. As you see, Mongolian music and song are intrinsically connected with nature and hence are gradually being affected by changing environment and society. As civilization expand and urbanization progress, they affect music trends, style, composition, lyrics, sound, temp, and temperament, methods, and techniques. Traditional music is changing along with the contemporary style, modern orchestra, and is performed by various ethno bands in Mongolia. This unstoppable movement makes the folk music genre less popular, endangering its existence, and one day might lead to its disappearance in modern world. Therefore, concerned efforts from various segments of society are needed to preserve traditional music by encouraging education, future research, and intergenerational exchange. In order to this, we, the musicologists, need to conceptualize, expand, and develop the music studies on traditional music and its development. This means that conducting music research needs to address music development and issues affecting it through a holistic approach, multidimensional, transdisciplinary, taking into account changing societal trends, including urbanization. We need to, all studies supposed to be unit in comparative study we need in urbanization studies we need. So thank you for your attention. So we can listen, and the last one, it's very interesting, new music with symphony orchestra solo. Can you hear? And this time I would like to thank the department and Peter Marsh, my old friend. So this one is all of my today's presentation on those books, but I published 20 books. These books just last two years. So now is this is the Guru Song, meditation Guru Song, third and fourth volumes. Now in 15, 16 going into publishing. This is all Mongolians in the benedictions with melodies and with tales. So this is all of the Mongolian tale song, folk tale song. You can see the tales, legends with the music and song in this. So this is the wedding ceremony. Wedding ceremony, they have 108 small ceremonies. So divided by three categories: before wedding, wedding, and after wedding. So you can see also included like 25 circle dance, 13th century circle dance. And this Shagai, the uncle born games, the 40 of them you can learn from this book. So this is in English, in Chinese, and Mongolian, 4 languages, trying to explain this music. So all notation in here, analyze it in here, so it's a new book. So I would like to give for my friend. Also, one of examples I really want to give to the library, to the